Over 3 weeks ago, I started reclaiming my brain from brain rot. My biggest problem was scrolling short videos, and crazy timing, in the headlines this week it says a growing number of studies say that short videos cause cognition issues, exactly what I've been experiencing. Welcome back to the Brain Heal Project. This is what's going on with my detox of the mind. Shout out to Mitko, who left a comment on the 2-week update calling it a mind detox. That's a great term, and that's exactly how it feels. If you're new here, there's a list in the description of the changes that I've made so far in my screen habits over the past 3 weeks, and it's time to add a new rule, so I'll introduce that later in the video and discuss why I need it. So, I want to talk today about the emotional whiplash of change. I've still been going through a lot of inner turmoil. I've still been experiencing what I talked about at the 2-week mark about this push and pull between who I was and the potential of who I could be. I still feel that, but even stronger this week is this feeling of emotional whiplash because of rapid change. I'm grateful that I made it out of several thought and emotion loops that I was in before and had been stuck in some of those for years, but it's like I relied on those unhealthy loops almost as if they were part of my identity, and now that I'm out, I've quickly discovered that they're not. I think that I've been able to easily intellectualize in the past from therapy and other places that I am not my thoughts, but I'm truly experiencing that now in a new way. My identity is being jostled, disturbed, and it's destabilizing. I kind of feel like I'm a baby deer learning to walk. By the way, I called what I was in a thought and emotion loop specifically because of a line that really impacted me in the book I've been reading through this process, Your Stone Age Brain in the Screen Age, and that is, no thought is untainted by emotion, nor is emotion ever totally divorced from thought. This was like a lightning strike for me reading it because I wasn't understanding that every thought has an emotion attached, not just the obvious ones. And it really makes sense. Each thought and emotion combo trigger the next. So that emotion, is I don't know, just the fact that it's underlying even the simplest thoughts is really interesting. And I wonder if people who are really advanced meditators could say the same. If they just notice and are able to pinpoint that their thoughts each have an emotion attached, or are they able to kind of separate emotion from thoughts? If you are a big meditator, let me know in the comments. I'm really curious about that. In addition to this whiplash feeling for changing quickly, I've also been feeling loss this week. And even in watching back after I recorded it, the video from last week, I feel like I was like watching it, I was like, I look sad, and I couldn't feel it at the time. But I feel like over this past week, it's kind of descended upon me. And I think it was there last week as well, but I wasn't acknowledging it. So I think the feeling of loss is something that I've often distracted myself from. So it's hitting me pretty hard lately. And one obvious reason that I'm feeling it is that I found out someone I knew years ago suddenly died. And it's not me, I wasn't close with him, but there's a deep loss to his community and the potential of a joyful future that he would be engaged with because he was a teacher. He had a very generous spirit. He was jovial, kind, inclusive. So the sudden absence of this energy is a huge loss. I remember my really close friend at the time saying after her mom died, she had so much more to give. We collectively feel loss, not just for the person, but for that potential of their bright future that has been robbed. Underneath the loss that I feel about this person, I feel a general sense of other loss as well. I think a big part of that is time lost. Time I've wasted, sucked into my phone. I can actually feel it now that I've stopped blocking it. And again, it goes to what I said earlier, that you can always intellectualize and understand at a surface level and say, oh yeah, I know I'm wasting time, but when you actually experience it, it changes. That's something big also that was a theme for me with pregnancy and giving birth, and now being a mom. These are experiential things that you can describe to somebody, you can intellectualize, but experiencing them just feel totally different. You know, there's no substitute for experience in a lot of ways. I've also lost potential futures for myself, futures that would have been built upon foundations I could have been building when I was stuck on my phone. I could have known myself way better by now, could have gone deep into meditation or music, when I still feel like I'm just scratching the surface of those things. But looking forward, I'm excited and grateful because I'm building that foundation now and I'm still alive to do that. So that's wonderful. Now, in an acknowledgement of balance, I have to say that I still have some issues with my screen habits. I'm not magically solved from these past few weeks, and that's something that's been heavy on my mind this week, and that leads me to the new rule that I'm scaffolding onto the project. So because of the lack of scrolling, the reclaiming from brain rot, with not watching shorts, with trying to make sure that videos that I watch are longer than 5 minutes, which there's been a few slip-ups with, videos that are shorter than that. But the rule that I'm adding is about the YouTube homepage, because I've been scrolling that a lot, substituting it for the scrolling that I used to do. So I'm going to set a timer when I start scrolling the YouTube homepage. I'm thinking right now 2 minutes, because I know, like, the other night I scrolled it for a lot longer than that. And maybe if I start with 2 minutes and then decrease it over time, maybe that'll work. But I felt a little bit, after scrolling for a very long time the YouTube homepage, not clicking on anything, I felt a little bit of that, like, reminiscent of that, like, brain rot cognition issue. It wasn't anywhere near where it used to be with videos. The difference of just scrolling a thumbnail and a title before you choose something to watch. But it's still there. It's still a form of scrolling that I want to cut out. So that's the new rule, and I will add it to the description here. And then in other news, so I'm still exploring the spiritual side of this project, where I feel like because I'm going inward more, I can talk to my higher self. And there were some really interesting comments from you guys about this, saying that I was making sense when I was talking about this. So I'm gonna go more into that. And the next video that I make is gonna be about clairaudience, which I'm just learning about. I didn't even know that that was one of the clairaudience. Drop a comment, let me know what you're going through. Subscribe for more videos on personal and spiritual growth, creativity, some music, and other matters of the soul. Take care of yourself, and talk soon.